Alright, so to grow amazing greens in my winter greenhouse, I use a variety of products, but basically it's composed of 5 different things. So I start by using a peat mix. This is just, the basic thing. It has some peat and some vermiculite. Doesn't really have any, nutrition for plants, but it's a good solid base for any type of soil mix. The next thing that I use is a seafood compost mix that I purchased from a local company. They produce this with local fish and seafood waste. Sometimes you find pieces of shell and whatnot in it. I've measured the NPK on this stuff. Nitrogen is really high. The phosphorus is really good, and the potassium's a little low, but I have a way to counteract that. And to do that, it's really simple. I use some wood ash. This stuff's really, really dusty, so I try to use it with soil that's been dampened. That way, the dampened soil tends to stick to this right away, and it doesn't, fly all over the place because it does make a mess. The second product that I use is Gaia green blood meal. This adds nitrogen 1400. Kind of sounds gross. It's really powdery, once again, similar to the wood ash. If you were to clap your hands, it will go everywhere. So I try to use it in a damp soil mix. That way it's not going all over the greenhouse. This adds some really slow release nitrogen to the soil. To bulk up phosphorus in the soil, I use this Gaia green bone meal. And the bone meal, I think, is 216-0. And once again, it's powdery, but not as powdery as a blood meal. It can be dusty, but using it in, dampened soil tends to, pick up that particulate, so it's not flying in the air everywhere. So those are the 3 products that I use for bulking up the soil. So that's 5. So we got wood ash, bone meal, blood meal, BX, and finally compost. And they make up the bulk of all of my mixes for everything that I grow. Alright, now that you have the secret ingredients, I'll tell you what my secret recipe is. I got amazing greens, so these things must be working. I measure out about 3 parts of BX, 3 parts compost. Then I use 1 cup of wood ash, and I also use a half a cup of blood meal and a half of a cup of bone meal. And that's all mixed in one of these big fish trays. In the next step, we're going to use all these components and we're going to get building the soil mix. Alright, so here is the soil mix. It's all mixed through nice and uniformly now. See, it's not dusty anymore either, so it's absorbed moisture nicely. Alright, so that's 5 things that I add to my soil mixes to get great greens all throughout the whole year. Those 5 items again in review: BX, compost, wood ash, blood meal, and bone meal. Make a great mix for salads. Like and subscribe, and join us next time.